Russia affirms that peace in Syria will not be achieved as long as Western countries support the armed groups. An explosive device planted by terrorists in Sheikh Saad in Mazzeh causes a huge fire with no casualties. Our army units kill and wound dozens of terrorists in Homs, Idlib, and Aleppo. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our news for today. Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev has reiterated his country's stand regarding the Syrian crisis, calling for a political solution through dialogue and halt of violence. In statements to Finnish news media on the eve of his visit to Finland, Medvedev said peace will not be achieved in Syria as long as some Western countries keep calling on the Syrian president to step down while they continue their support for the armed groups. The Russian Prime Minister described such stance as incorrect, adding that the Syrian crisis cannot be solved in this way, as this would lead to the collapse of the Syrian state. Medvedev added that the events that took place in the Middle East and North Africa over the past 2 years have brought no peace or stability to the region. Deputy Foreign and Expatriates Minister Dr. Faisal al-Mikdad has affirmed that if a position does not grow inside the homeland and does not get the support of fellow citizens, then it can only be an externally made structure used as a tool to destroy the homeland. In a special interview with Russia Today satellite channel, Mikdad said, we in Syria believe that the solution to the crisis can be achieved within a peaceful framework and at the table of negotiations. He pointed out that the first decision taken by the opposition coalition after it was formed in Doha was refusing dialogue and constantly declaring war and threatening to use weapons because they wanted to destroy Syria. Al-Mikdad said it was unfortunate that the Arab League has turned into an invalid institution subject to foreign dictates. He added that Syria would defend itself in case it was exposed to any aggression through the legitimate methods guaranteed by international law. Concerning talk about a military intervention in Syria, Al-Mikdad said all indications gave the impression that such intervention is impossible. An explosive device planted by terrorists near a shop in Sheikh Saad neighborhood in Damascus blew up today, causing a huge fire and inflicting material damage on nearby shops and residential apartments. No casualties were reported. The fire was completely put under control by the fire squad before spreading to neighboring buildings. Within the framework of their national task in clearing several areas of the armed terrorist groups, our armed forces have continued to pursue a large number of terrorists, inflicting on them heavy losses. In Ezzor, an army unit clashed with terrorists from al-Nusra front in al-Muassasa street near Deir Ghassan, Aboud, killing a large number of them. An army unit today eliminated a terrorist group in al-Hijara in Damascus suburbs. Among the killed terrorists, the leader of the group, Abdeslam al-Shuqairi, was identified, in addition to a number of the most dangerous terrorists in Damascus suburbs. Another army unit also killed members of a terrorist group in Aqraba and confiscated their weapons and ammunition. In Homs, an army unit destroyed terrorist group hideouts in Bab Houd and Al-Khalidiyya. Among the terrorists identified as being killed are Khairallah al-Salqini, Muhammad al-Hassoun, Khalid al-Hafian, and Taysir al-Hafiyan, in addition to 2 from Saudi Arabia, who were Wardan al-Hayla and Khalif Ahmad al-Khalidi, and the Turkish terrorist Qasim Gonzadar. In Idlib countryside, army units destroyed terrorist headquarters, killing and wounding scores of gunmen. An army unit also targeted gunmen who were terrorizing citizens and committing acts of theft and robbery in the villages of Kafr Rohim, Sarmin, Sarga, and Zardana, killing a number of them. An armed terrorist group stole 3 trucks for the Syrian Arab Red Crescent loaded with 15 tons of humanitarian aid on Damascus Idlib Road. The trucks were loaded with food, goods, and medical aid and were heading to Aleppo and Idlib. Head of the Red Crescent branch in Idlib, Ma'mun Kharbutli, told Sana reporter that the trucks were intercepted by the terrorists in Talman's town near Ma'arat Naman, adding the terrorists attacked and hit the drivers and took the load to an unknown place. Kharbutli added that 2 trucks were headed for Aleppo and the 3rd for Idlib. Violent protests broke out across Jordan last night, injuring 14 people after the government announced an increase in fuel prices. Demonstrators burned tires, smashed traffic lights, and blocked roads in several Jordanian cities. Riot police officers tried to quell some of the crowds with tear gas. At least 10 of them were injured. The Jordanian government announced a drop in subsidies that would result in increases of 14% on prices at the pump and more than 50% in gas used for cooking. In Iraq, a series of terrorist explosions hit Baghdad and Kirkuk, killing 20 people and injuring more than 100 others. Iraqi security sources affirmed that 14 people were killed and 50 others injured in Kirkuk following a car bomb explosion that targeted an Iraqi army patrol. Another car bomb explosion injured 50 people in southern Kirkuk. In Baghdad, 5 people were killed and 35 others wounded, including 2 women and 3 children. 1 man was killed and 7 others injured in a car bomb explosion which targeted a crowded market in downtown Baghdad. With this, we conclude our news bulletin for today. For more information about Syria and the region, and if you want to view our bulletin again, you can visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy.